have an assistant coach. I think really the biggest thing I figured out last year was how important film is, not only just to me, but also to the players themselves, and making sure that you're making comments on the film, even if it's just drill work. Because it's so, especially on special teams, it's so hard to see everyone on the full field, because specials is the full field. So it makes it really difficult to see in the drill. So having that film time is really important. Well, each unit has a different goal. I think one of my biggest goals for this season is I would really love to have a return for a touchdown. And that's kind of, the goal every year, but for sure that's a big goal this year. I think we've got some great returners, so we have a good possibility of that. As far as the players go, like for individual goals, I really just want them to be able to feel comfortable that they understand and they know all the rules for specials, and that they could just be pulled onto any of the special teams at any point and be able to do the job and do it well. I mean, it's heart and soul, you get to know all of these wonderful human beings and from all different walks of life, all coming together for a common goal that in years prior wouldn't have been an option for us. Like playing football as a female or as a non-binary athlete, it would be impossible, but now it's possible, and having that together, as a group, as a team, is just huge. I love it. It really, I think, is going to elevate not only our team, but our sport. The fact that we're at a college venue that's, a nice, well-known venue, I think it really elevates the sport, and that's what we need to keep doing in order to get more visibility and better sponsors.
End zone, count it. Touchdown, Minnesota.
Well, when you fall short in the season, there's a lot of things you learn. And one of the main things that we've been focusing on this year, and that I learned personally, is that you can do the small things, but if you don't do them all the time, you're not going to get the outcome that you want. And so moving forward this year, those are things that I want to concentrate for myself, but also bring that out in the team as well. It's huge. It's huge for our sport and the level that we're playing. You don't often get to play on college fields. So giving us that experience, it also just shows that people are noticing. It's growing our sport as a whole, and very thankful for Hamlin for even giving us the opportunity. I mean, Vixen football at this point is a legacy in women's pro football. We're the longest running women's pro tackle football team in the world, which is huge. No one else can say that. And us on the team, we try to strive for that every single day. We try to show the public who we are, and being on a team is always doing something bigger than yourself. And I couldn't ask for a better team to do that for.
So what are you looking forward to?
We have a lot of veteran returners. I'm looking forward on building on them, but also seeing the rookies who have brought so much energy to our team come on in and make a huge impact. So just growing the team from one year to the next, and then implementing those really high-end players that came in, and watching us as a whole start from where we were in January and finish, see where we go in July. I don't often say it, and if you talk to my teammates, I don't often say it, but my goal truly is to get to and to win a championship. I've been here now for almost 6 years. I've gotten there, haven't won one, and so my personal goal is to, kind of like I said for the team, is to build on everything that I've learned in the past and take all of those things and bringing them into this season, and then implementing all the new things I'm learning and bring it to the team, help them understand their capabilities. I am huge on that. If I know someone's capability and they're not striving for it all the time, I get disappointed. And I'm like the disappointed mom, but I'm like, you know what? I know where you can go, and I know where us as a team can go. So goal is to get there, goal is to win, and hopefully we'll see what happens.
be a part of it again or help it grow or help it continue, Yeah, obviously I'm very competitive, and I don't like losing, and we want to win. That's real. Not just
Sure.
giving you fluff there, but the way I've tried to approach things as a head coach, it can't all be about the wins. And so successful season this year. The veterans who are returning, helping them again to grow as football players, challenging them to do more, be more, bring the rookies along, challenging them to grow as leaders, more so than they might have had to be in the past because other people were in those leadership roles. But then, even with our rookies here, challenging them like, you can do this. Yes, it's going to be tough, but they're that's life. You've got a team here that's committed to helping you learn it and helping bring you along if that's what you want to do. So kind of bringing them along with what the veterans already know, right? Expect Minnesota to be great this year. Every year they always put a solid program out there.
Right.
This is our first year playing Houston. But I've watched Houston on film before. They're another good program, highly respected by me. We've got Derby City, who, I love them and that whole crew, just over the years, when we scrimmage each other and just playing them, lots of respect for that organization. Had a lot of fun playing the Indiana Valor last year, it was their inaugural year, but, they were good sports. They were good players. They were well coached. And then I think you might not have seen, but they, both teams got into a dance battle and party after the game which was it was really fun to watch. It was really fun to see. So both teams there in the middle of the field, just dancing with each other. That was a great experience for us, but also for them just as a new team, in the league. So, we get to play them again this year. And they already, have messaged us, looking forward to the second dance party in St. Louis this time, So looking forward to that. And Cincinnati, this is our first year playing them. But again, another great respected program. Just watching stats and, just what they've been able to accomplish over the last couple of seasons is nothing short of, quality. Right. So we've got a pretty good schedule, and would like to win out, but I'll take us just playing good football and, making sure we're trending in the right direction, each game of this year. So that'll be a successful season to me.
Can't wait. Let's get it going here, right?
Yep, indeed.
All right. Thanks for catching up with us, Coach.
Sure. No problem. Thanks, Ray.
Coach.
We are back as we get ready for kickoff. You see it going on down in the corner, the Slam getting ready with their pregame routine. Got the flag handy, ready to run out onto the field with that. That was the Minnesota Vixen declining. They won the toss. So if you saw the championship game last year, had Dereshkova kicking off, and she promptly booted 3 of them out of bounds, and they replaced her with the one in there getting ready to kick off right now, which is number 29. That will be Paige Kuplick, set to kick off. So the Slam will be set up to receive the opening kickoff once again on your WFA Game of the Week. Thank you to everybody tuning in across the airwaves. Those of you that have started out tuning in to Livestream STL, thank you. And all the way across the WFA airwaves and the Women's Football Alliance. So that looks like that will be Humphrey, one of them, of the 3 back to get the kickoff, along with Sydney Block. Fresh 15 on the clock, and there's the boot from Kuplick, and we are underway. Cook is going to bobble that, and it's going to roll out of bounds at around the 6-yard line. Not what Coach Q probably wanted to see right off the hop, but here we go nonetheless with that starting line, the fabulous 5 up front, revamped this year. At left tackle, 68, Pam Green. At left guard, 74, that'll be the KG veteran, Antonia Washington. At center this year will be number 53, Jennifer Perkins. At right guard, 59, Tamika Brents. And at right tackle, that will be number 60, second-year veteran. That will be Jasmine Day. Wide receiver package, number 6, Kerrigan Gam, a D1 softball player by trade. Number 9, Sydney Block. Number 7, Kiana Smith. And number 16, Amanda Richardson-Mans with the hands in the backfield will be Jada the Jet Humphrey, and at quarterback, the aforementioned Jamie Gall, the number 1 QB in the WFA. Here's Gall out of shotgun, going to hand it to Jada right off the bat. She's going to break out over the 5 to the 10 to the 15 and is brought down, and we will go over the Vixen defense. That will be up front, one of the captains, number 54, Kaylee Damison, number 82, Augusta Schweitzer, number 98, Cynthia Bryant. Clogging up the middle, another captain, number 30, Megan Dixon. On the outside, you have Jocelyn Tanner. And looks like number 4, Caden Bostic, will be out there as well, too. Along with number 13 at the safety position, Britt Peterson. She comes via the Nebraska team. So here on second down, that is the Jet. She's going to break out again. She gets out to the 20, but is brought down by the front of her jersey. So another carry by Jada the Jet Humphrey to start this championship season. That is just enough to bring up a first down, moves the sticks, moves the chains, get out of the shadow of the end zone, and the Slam are literally and figuratively off and running. Finishing off will be number 18, Caitlin Hove, number 49, Amber Kaufman, 51, Paige Condi, and number 59, Jessica Bartlett on the defensive core for the Minnesota Vixen. Here's Gall, shotgun, hand off to Humphrey. Humphrey being chased by Damison, gets to the outside. She's over the 35 to the 40, steps out of bounds, picks up another first down for the St. Louis Slam. So all 3 plays on the offensive side so far have gone to the run variety. So you still have Richardson and Cook nearest us. Block will be up top. New jerseys this year, by the way, with a little white outline on the orange number. So a little bit more announcer friendly this year, and a little sponsorship from BJC Healthcare. So all new, stitched up, ready to go are the new Slam jerseys, and you see Gall back there with the fluorescent orange turf shoes. Another handoff to Humphrey. She's met and brought down by a trio. Damison leading the way, along with number 96, Cynthia Bryant. Bryant checks in at 5'8", 305, so don't want that laying on you all night. Avoid that at all costs. Beautiful night here in St. Louis, Missouri, by the way, 84 degrees at kickoff, but the sun will start setting. The temperature will go down, but beautiful night here in St. Louis. Again, kicking off week 1 of the WFA Pro National American Conference. The Central Region St. Louis Slam, along with the Vixen and the other team in our conference, the Houston Energy. Here's another handoff to Humphrey. They've read that one, and are they saying that they stripped the ball, or did they blow the whistle? I could not hear, and we'll go over the officiating crew. The referee for tonight, Richard Townsend. Umpire, Keith Washington. Line, Clark Frazier. Line judge, Cedric Robinson. And the back judge, Scott Jones. So that'll be Block coming over nearest us as well, too, along with Amanda Richardson. Mans with the hands, joining Cook. So that's trips nearest us. That'll be Humphrey now to the right, so a makeshift quad, one up top. See if they'll throw it to Humphrey out of the backfield here in this package. She's going to look. She's going to go back the complete other way. Looks like that is Gam. Looks like that was number 6, Kerrigan Gam, getting her first reception, as she is a rookie this year, and that looks like that will bring up 4th down, and back to punt will be Sydney Block. Duties once held by Carrie McMahon. So 4th down, and there is 11-14 and counting left to go here in the opening quarter, and that ball will be placed on the 37-yard line. Gam will be snapping back. Back to Block. Block's going to boom that one end over end. It's going to take a hop at the 40, and it's going to navigate out of bounds. Looks like the ball will be spotted at about the 36-yard line. That is where The Minnesota Vixen will take over. And we'll go over starting line up front. That is at left tackle, number 98, Sammy Kraus. At left guard, that is Sierra Ford. I believe she wears number 65. That is the center, Taylor Fox. At right guard, 66, Amy Shaver. And at right tackle, number 69, Marissa Akinsai. Receiver core looks like this. 86, Sam Anderson will be at the tight end spot. Amanda Dvorak split out right here by us. Up top, you'll have number 18, Caitlin Hove. Number 81, Jackie Radford. In the backfield, getting the ball, actually faking, was to Paige Kuplick. Erin Kelly hits her target. Sam Anderson, the tight end, out of the backfield, brought down from behind. After a healthy gain of about 20 on the play by Zariah Johnson. So we'll go over the defensive line for you for the St. Louis Slam. At defensive end, that'll be 33, Jennifer Tussey. 50, Kennedy Daniels. Number 61, Taylor Johnson. And defensive end, number 90, Sam Smiley. We'll go over the rest of the defensive package after this play. Machine Gun Kelly back to pass again. Is going to air it out to Dvorak. Kiana turns around and just off the hands of Dvorak. Nice touch by Kelly. Brooklyn Devitt, 47-21, Raven Williams getting her first start. Number 92, TJ Glass. And at the other outside spot will be number 2, Zariah Johnson. Defensive backs will be number 9, Sydney Block will be one of them, along with number 16, Amanda Richardson, Mans with the hands. And also Kiana Smith joining the fray as well. So that is third down already. 10-12 left to go. Going to give the ball to Kuplick. Kuplick rolls over one, but was met. Daniels and also Glass coming in to finish it off. Spreads it out. It's going to bring up. Well, actually, they still have not changed. So it's going to be third down now. I apologize, as they're now getting it right over on the far side of the field. Kuplick's going to check out. And as you'll see here, the field is 55 yards wide, and virtually every play you will see Kelly go half the distance over to the sideline to get the play and come back the remaining half. So almost every bit, 50 yards plus, every time just to get the play in and out. 3rd and 10 from the 37, exactly 10 minutes left to go in the opening quarter. There's a pass to Radford right over the middle. She's going to navigate her way through, picks up the first down. Brought down by Devitt and Richardson, but not after a gain of about 18 on that pass from Erin Kelly. Graduate of SIU Edwardsville back here in Missouri. Her 6th year running the show, checking in out of the transfer portal, if you will. Number 0, that'll be Tiff Wright. 5'4", $140. She comes from the Nebraska Football Club as well, too. Penalty against the Vixen. That will move them back. So as I mentioned, this week 1 game against the Vixen is the WFA Game of the Week. Also, week 4 on May 16th will be the WFA Game of the Week, with St. Louis playing host to the Houston Energy. And then on week 6, that'll be May 30th. The Slam and the Vixen, again, Game of the Week, except that will be at Minnesota. Handoff to Wright. Wright's going to get to the outside. Kiana Smith's going to chase her out of bounds, along with Glass as well, too. Brings up 2nd down, but on a 1st and 15, brings up a very manageable 2nd down play. Checking in now on the offensive line will be Natalie Kalimu, number 64. And there's an injury on the play, as there's a Vixen player down, and see if we can get that identified. That might be why they're changing, as that is Sierra Ford, the injured lineman for the Minnesota Vixen. So if you're Coach Q right now, not the way you wanted to start the season with the mishap on the special teams with the ball being fumbled out of bounds deep in your own end, you're able to get a few runs in, got Humphrey some work, navigated your way out of harm's way to a point, had to punt. So at least right off the bat you got, block to get a punt out of her system. Then you got some snaps in from Jennifer Perkins as well, too, taking over for the recently retired Caitlin Erickson. We're back underway. Twins nearest us. Twins up top. Right in the backfield, offset behind Kelly. Kelly is going to signal right to go in motion towards us. Out into the flat. There's Wright all alone. Smith's going to wrap up. Tackled and brought down. Looks like Glass was out there, one of the leading tacklers, along with Block as well. But right now, Wright got hit out of the backfield by Kelly and then just took off like a rocket. Dvorak and Radford nearest us. Sam Anderson, and that looks like that will be number 12, Slovik Lundberg, up top as well, too. So two sets of twins nearest us and up top, and that'll be Tiff Wright still in the backfield wearing the donut. Not sure what the delay is right now with 8:25 left to go opening quarter here in St. Louis, Missouri right now. So, with it being week one, everybody's tied for first place. There you go. There's your little daily nugget for the night. Now the clock will wind. Wright goes in motion. Trips up top. Is going to try to hit her in the backfield. That's going to be thrown just behind her.
That'll bring up a 4th down and 1.
And if I heard correctly, it's going to bring up a 4th and 1 with the ball resting at the 19-yard line. But as you saw last year, the Slam held the Vixen when they were at the Slam's 1-yard line 4 plays in a row. Nothing new to them with them being at the 19-yard line, but a crucial 4th and 1. Snap back. They're going to give it to Kuplik. She's going to get the first down, wrapped up around the feet by Daniels, leading the way on that one. Kin.
She picks up 3 yards. It'll be a first down for the Vixen.
First down for the Vixen. Julia Kempf, number 18, for the Slam in there as well, too. Good to see Julia back in there. So fresh set of downs, just enough to pick up the first, and that's now Vixen ball at just outside the 10-yard line, so the sticks will still remain up. They're going to give the ball to Kuplik once again, and she's brought down. Mary Altapeter checking in. She leads the way along with Tay Johnson. So now they're going to bring in tight end. That'll be Eddie Halverson, number 88. Checking in for the Vixen. That'll be Machine Gun Kelly getting the play from head coach Connor Joe Lewis. Caught up with her before the game. Always nice to see Coach Connor Joe. Pass goes out through the hands of Jackie Bradford. Jackie Radford. So if you're on the St. Louis Slam side of the ledger, you'll take that all day long. That will bring up a 3rd down now, 3rd and 11 from the 11. Kemp still in at defensive end. Looks like Glass is still in there as well, too, along with Kennedy Daniels and Tay Johnson now clogging up the front. They break the huddle. They're going to spread it out. Right back in the backfield. 1 up top, 1 tight, 2 nearest us. You hear the crowd now getting into it. The Slam faithful here. She's going to fake. She's going to go out into the end zone. Has Jackie Radford for the Vixen touchdown. So that will be Minnesota getting on the board first, as Radford collects the 11-yard TD pass from Kelly. And we await the PAT. It looks like that will come off the foot of Durashkova. Michaela Durashkova. Snap back a little low. She's going to put it up and through the pipes out of the hold of Lundberg. So with the Minnesota Vixen 7, St. Louis Slam nothing. We're going to head to break. When we come back, kickoff on the WFA network. We are back here at Rockwood Summit High School in St. Louis, Missouri. Matt Bates here with you tonight. Thank you again to everybody tuning in all across the platforms making this game available tonight, starting with Livestream STL here in St. Louis, and our feed being picked up all across the airwaves tonight. Amazon Prime out there as well, the WFA Game of the Week. Paige Kuplik set to kick off one more time. Actually, they're going to have Durashkova kick off, so I guess had Kuplik kick off just to see if Durashkova was still okay to kick, and it looks like she is, so we'll see who they choose to. If they want to go back to Cook once again, they're going to go right over the middle. That's going to hop. It's going to roll past block. That's going to go back to the 5-yard line. She's going to pick it up, assess where she needs to go. Out she comes. She gets out at least to the 20. Flag comes in. As already, lid has come off. That was on number 24, Shadana Chancellor Hurd. For the slam, Humphrey. Looks like she's being asked about the penalty. Again, your captains legal block, so that'll move them back to the 10, so moves them half the distance. Captains for tonight, number 59, Tamika Brents, number 4, Jamie Gall, number 61, Tay Johnson, and number 21, Raven Williams. Captains for the Vixen. Machine Gun Kelly, one of them. Damison, Dixon. Now what's going on? Because it looks like they're moving back a little farther. Okay. Well, you know, as I always say, just gives Gall more room to work with, but yet she has yet to throw a pass. We'll see if it changes on this possession or if Coach Quincy Davis, Coach Q, is going to keep the running game afoot. First pass tossed out, just out of the reach. That looks like that was Sydney Block.
Pass is incomplete, brings up a 2nd and 10.
So what I thought the announcer-friendly jerseys were, now these numbers are just a lot smaller than they appear when you're back up a ways. But they are outlined in orange nonetheless. And down on the field earlier with Block and Gam, they look like sisters separated at birth. Twins out top, twins up top. Humphrey to the left of Gall. Gall in her own end zone is going to empty it out. Hits Humphrey, nice block at the 10, gets over the 20. Breaks out over the 30, tap dances, and gets out of bounds. No flags on the play. Nice job of blocking by the wide receiver core outside. Leading the way specifically, number 9, Sydney Block. Nice job opening up that airway for the Jet to take off through. First down for the St. Louis Slam. Gall's first attempt. So that'll be Richardson now going across thought block was coming along as well too, but I don't see that. Once again, Humphrey to the left of Gall. Ball spotted right in the middle of the field. Toss out to Humphrey. Humphrey's going to get out to the outside once again. She's going to get a few on that. Gets out of bounds, stopping the clock with 5:55 left to go again, opening quarter. Can't say the last time I've heard in a first quarter that the St. Louis Slam have been behind. It's been a hot minute since that has happened. Clock will wind. Slam with the ball once again, but as I said, currently down 7-0 on that pass from Kelly to Radford at the 6:59 mark, just a tick under the 7-minute mark. But right now, 5:39, and the Slam are on the move. Waits the snap from Perkins. Perkins a little high. And that snap almost went over the head of Gall. She gets it. She's back to the 20. Been a while since she's taken a hit of any sort. But protecting the ball was the biggest thing, and that was what we were looking to see right here with the departure of Erickson, how the snaps were going to be after having her manning the ball for the 14, 15 years she was here, thanks to her friend Taylor Hay getting her involved. So Perkins got her work cut out for her. So that is now a big third down. So here's Gall. They put the blitz on. That's going to go incomplete. That was intended for Gam. Number 6, Kerrigan Gam. Again, D1 softball player, giving it a shot this year is the rookie wide receiver. That'll be block. Set the punt one more time. So it has been 2 punts on 2 possessions for the St. Louis Slam. So we'll see what block does here. Low snap. Gets that one off. It's going to come down at the 45. Going to roll over midfield. Going to hop back, and that's going to be downed at the 48-yard line. Looks like that was Gam. Great-looking crowd here tonight from Rockwood Summit High School. 4:22 left to go in quarter number 1, and that is Kelly with almost half of a field to work with, as the ball is being set at the 47-yard line. And actually it looks like they're going to have Gam in the defensive back spot as well too, or at a free safety spot, if you will. So that is number 34. That's Ray Jefferson up top. He's got the 2 sticks of chalk. Give it to Wright. They collapse in. She's going to cut to the outside, and she's going to get over midfield, gets to the 45-yard line, brought down by Gam and by number 21, Raven Williams. Alta Peter back at her middle linebacker spot. Looks like that's Lynette Thomas that has checked in now up front for the Slam. Pressure put on by Daniels. That ball's picked off by Gam. She's going to take it all the way back to the house. Being chased by Wright. Don't hit her, Brooklyn. Touchdown Slam on a pick 6. Give her 6. Welcome to the Slam, Rook. Kerrigan Gam, 5'10", 160. Did not need her softball mitt for that one. She just used both hands, picked that off, and back to the house it went. 70-yard INT return. That'll be Knightsling. Set to boot the PAT out of the hold of Jamie Gall. Doing the quick count. Looks like they're needing one more on the personnel package. Send somebody out, put a helmet on, off we go. Boy, you talk about a game changer with 3:35 left to go in the quarter. Extra point here will tie the ball game up. Out of the hole, down, true, and through. Had a lot of traffic coming through, but we have a tie ball game. Again, 3:35 left to go in quarter number one. It is Minnesota and St. Louis all knotted up 7 apiece.
Sometimes it hits. The worry. The what do I do now? BJC Medical Group is right there with you when and wherever you need care. Easy to schedule primary care close to home. Virtual visits when leaving the house feels impossible. And convenient care when kids don't wait. Real people, real care, no runaround. Just answers and the right care right now. BJC Medical Group, right there with you.
And you will see that BJC logo right there on the jerseys of the St. Louis Slam this year. Stitched and embroidered on. Last year had the iron-on jerseys. They said, I think, were a result of them winning the championship the year before out in Canton. But now names, numbers, everything all stitched on this year, looking good. And why wouldn't they? Back-to-back national champs looking for the three-peat this year. You see nearest us, 15, Christy Burkett, along with another rookie, number 13, Mia Brooks. And number 48, Kelsey Becker. Waiting the kick from Knightsling. Knightsling end over end, right down the middle. It's just going to chuck up right at the 20. And that's going to be returned, almost fumbled, as that was 51, Paige Condi. One of the linebackers was back to return that, and return it she did. Gave him decent field position out at the 30, so that's where Kelly and company will take over. So nice job by Gam. Now you feel a buzz inside the stadium if you're on the Slam side of the ledger, as that created a little something, created a little fire, as, again, not used to seeing the Slam behind this early in a ball game. Talk about a jolt of lightning. Gam with the pick six. We're going to give the ball to Kuplick. She's met in the hole promptly. Trying to see who that is getting up. That's Tay Johnson. Talk about two immovable forces. Tay Johnson, 5'8", 305. Come on now. Daniels now moved out to defensive end along with Kempf, and that'll be, again, 94, Lynette Thomas in that forefront for the Slam. Kuplick behind Kelly. Snap at the knees. They're going to give it to Kuplick anyway. She breaks out like a shot over the 40 to the 45. And as we said last year, you got to get Kuplick going east and west, because once she starts going north and south, well, you know, we'll let you do the math on that. Again, 5'6", 190 is what they list her at. She's going to come out. She goes east-west, slips out of one tackle. That was Glass. Now Block and Thomas and Williams all joining in there along with Kempf. Brooklyn Devitt's slow to get up. But a big slip out of the tackle as Glass went to get Kuplick, and, you know, every game we see him now, because the last couple of years we've seen him 3 times each season. So she's not new to the Slam, and the Slam aren't new to her as well, and you're going to take a couple to bring her down. She's a load. Wright's going to check in now. Misdirection handoff. She's going to navigate her way down to the 35-yard line. Give her a gain of about 5 on that carry. Cuts that in half. Should bring up about a 2nd and 5. Dvorak and Radford, the two nearest us for the Vixen. Twins up top as well, too. The leg up, that's going to send right in motion again, so look for that. A little too hot on that one from Kelly. Misses right out of the backfield once again, but seen that before as well, too. We'll find out if somebody wants to make a jump on that read. They line right up offset to Kelly. Kelly, when she lifts the leg, right goes in motion, and then they've tried to hit her in the flat out of that. About the last 3 or 4 times they've ran it, twice have gone incomplete. See Connor Joe chit-chatting with her quarterback there as she goes in with the play once again. $1:28 left to go here in the opening quarter, week 1, WFA game of the week. Twins nearest us, one up top, tight end on the other side. She's going to go deep, has a target, that's picked off. Kiana Smith with an interception. Her first one of the season, gives the ball back to the St. Louis Slam once again, and that'll be at the 15-yard line. So Kiana Smith getting her first INT of the season, but Erin Kelly tossing her second one of the season. Except this one didn't cost her 6 points this time. So back out comes Jamie Gall. Every time has had a long field to work with. Why would this one be any exception, sitting at the 15.5, or maybe 14.5 yard line? So 86 yards to work with, and that is now Shonda Chancellor-Hurd in the lineup. Back in the backfield, they're going to hit Humphrey out of the backfield. She's at the 30, working her over the 25, getting out close to the 30. But Chancellor-Hurd, 20-year veteran. That was 20 years with the Austin Outlaws. Is number 24 in the backfield there with the protective headgear on. Looks like that will be Brixen, Hannah Brixen, 85 for the Slam, who's checked in as well too. Nearest us with Ariana Cook. And I believe getting her first action is number 80, Stephanie Brown, up top. She's a wide receiver, so 2 in the backfield offset from Gall. They're going to hand it to Hurd. Hurd's first carry, and she is brought down with authority by Samira Garcia-Pedro. 6 foot 286. Couple biscuits away from that magical 300-pound mark, along with Alicia Noble, number 44 for the Vixen. Candace Bostic, number 4 here for the Vixen, right here on her own little island with Cook. So we'll see how Coach Davis wants to navigate this one. As Cook's got the speed, as you saw last year on the 87-yard TD pass that she hauled in from Gall. And it looks like time will run out here in quarter number 1, where we are all knotted up. Minnesota Vixen 7, St. Louis Slam 7. This is the WFA game of the week.
The future of technology is with us. You might be thinking, Doc, this is truly amazing. And we got.
Hey, is the projector ready? Come on, time for a team meeting.
The feeling in your feet, the rhythm of ambition, that extra, that aha. that sight,
That something.
the click, the shift, the boom. And you're there. The mess becomes a map. And you call it art or science or code. Because now you know the way forward. For all the moments that drive you, there's edX. Fuel your ambition with thousands of job-relevant courses and programs at edX.org.
Yo, Jay, what you say?
LFG 2026. Shout out to James.
From Knightsling made it 7-7, and that's where we stand right now. That will now be the slam going right to your left on your television. Twins nearest us, Twins up top. Jet, they read that one, and that was not wrapping up. That was Noble out there. She read the pass out into the flat to Humphrey, had her wrapped up, but Humphrey slipped out of it, still made something out of nothing. But again, as we've seen with the pass from Kelly to Wright, that pass from Gall to Humphrey, we're going to call predictable. Gam and Block nearest us, Twins up top. Here's my take. I would fake that and then look to go deep. See if you can get the Vixen to bite on that play and then look to air one out, as you've got two fast units right here with us with Block and with Gam, and a full timeout been called by the St. Louis Slam. Just a few seconds into, 36 seconds actually, into quarter number 2. So we shall see what's discussed during the timeout. But once again, I think it might be not putting so much air underneath that ball out into the flat to Humphrey. We shall find out. Upcoming games for the Slam, their Week 2 game. That'll be against the Cincinnati Cougars. They were the number 3 Division II team last year. They're bumped up to the Pro Division, and they're over in the National Conference on the East region. That game will also be at Rockwood Summit. Week 3, we'll see the Slam on the road at Houston to take on the Houston Energy. That will be a conference game on the road. Week number 4 will be St. Louis heading back out to take on the Vixen once again. Week number 5, they will be at Derby City to take on the Dynamite. And then week number 6, the final regular season game, they'll be at home against the Division II opponent, the Indiana Valor. But that game will be at Afton High School. Back to the action. Gall, shotgun snap. Looking to go to her right. Has her target and just misses Ariana Cook. That's going to bring up fourth down, and not the most ideal punting scenario, but no points off the turnover if you're on the Vixen side. Britt Peterson back to return, one of them along with Condi as well too. So we'll see what kind of boot Block wants to put into this one. But got to have that clean snap first, and then we'll go from there. So snap back, that's low. Block collects it. Kicks that one end over end. That's going to go to Condi, plays it off the chest. She has a wall around her, but cannot break out of the tackle. Along the sideline over there, 34, Robinisha Wood. Nice job on that special teams tackle by Robinisha, another rookie. Welcome to the team. So that will now be inside. Twins nearest us, tied in and one up top. Right in the backfield. She's going to get the ball. She's going to take her chances up the middle. That's Lynette Thomas with another tackle. Give her a gain of about 3 on the play.
Gain of 5 on the play.
Well, okay. Make it 5.
It'll be 2nd down and 5.
So 2nd and 5, that's Solveig Lundberg, wide receiver nearest us with the fluorescent sneakers on. There's 2 up top. Going to hand it off once again. That's going to be Daniels wrapping her up right at the point of contact. Johnson a little slow getting up. In there, Kempf as well, too.
It'll be 3rd down and 4.
Maybe give her 1 on that. Wright's going to check out. Now they're going to bring in that Thunderball, Paige Kuplick. So needing about 4 yards on this to get the first down. I would look at Kuplick getting the ball, but you've got to figure out how to make contact with her right off the get-go. Because once she gets going, that's a load to bring down. Twins up top, that's Dvorak and Radford. 2 nearest us, Kuplick in the backfield. Now she's going to go out. She's going to spread out. They don't even look her way. Goes across the field enough to get the first down, as that was Radford.
Gain of 4 yards on the play. That results in a first down.
So 3rd and 4, they get 5. That'll move the chains. Another first down. Clock moving. So are the Vixen. Kuplick, stop, drop. Kempf holding her up. Kennedy Daniels, the coup de grace, finishes her off. Tackle for loss on the play between those two. Checking in, Eddie Halverson. Checking out will be Mackenzie Reed, number 84 for the Vixen. So Solveig Lundberg and Radford nearest us. They're going to go to Kuplick up to the top of the package. She gets spread out, trying to turn the corner, forced out of bounds at the 30-yard line.
Gain of 6 yards on the play. It'll be 3rd down and 4.
Looks like just enough on the play to bring up a 3rd and 4. So Wright's going to check in, Kuplick's going to check out. Once again, Kelly got to go all the way to the sideline to get the play. Nobody can bring it in to her. So as the play clock's ticking down, now you got to hope you've got the right personnel out there. They're going to go trips nearest us now, 1 up top, right in the backfield, see what they want to do out of this package. They're going to go out, hits the tight end, missed tackle out there from Zariah Johnson. Block and Daniels to finish her off at the 29-yard line. Zariah Johnson, ZJ had her back behind the line of scrimmage, broke out of that tackle, picked up a few in the process, and that will now bring up what appears to be about a 4th and 3, 4th and 4. But at least, you know, Johnson on her tackle attempt was able to slow her down just enough to where other troops could come in and not allow any further damage. So once again, Kelly, shotgun snap. She's going to roll out. Being chased by Kempf. She's going to try to pick up the first down. She does on the naked bootleg, enough to get out of bounds and to get the first down in the process. So they ran everybody to the near side of the field. Kelly takes the snap, just ran the bootleg all the way out, got the first down. And the Vixen are cooking with gas now inside the 30, inside the 25-yard line. Whoop, a little misdirection, and that's Kemp coming in, and a sack for the Bearcat. Julia Kemp from the defensive end spot. Back went one way, Kelly was going the other way, and it was hello Julia Kemp time. Big 18 comes in, finishes it off with the tackle for loss. So checking back in once again, Ray Jefferson. 5'8", 185 is Ray Jefferson. Once again, you can tell her with the white stockings and the pants rolled up above the knee, she's going to come nearest us. Radford making a signal behind her back to Kelly, so we'll see what happens with that. Had one, they're going to go short as they had the receiver coming across. Mary Altapeter in there with a tackle along with Zariah Johnson. That was Halverson bringing that one down. Or actually, that was 86. That was Sam Anderson. So clock is running now as we are 8:45 and counting until halftime. And the 40-second play clock hasn't budged at all. So big third down play here, both for the Slam and for the Vixen. That is Jefferson nearest us, one-on-one. Kelly not looking that way. Here comes Daniels and Lynette, but they're going to go up top to Dvorak, and that's going to go off her hands once again, so that's going to bring up a fourth down. Checking in will now be number 65, Sierra Ford, and that will be checking out 64, Natalie Kalimu. So it looks like the portion of the scoreboard with the down and distance, that has gone by the wayside, but we do know it's fourth down. And with tackle for loss from Kemp, looks like that will now be fourth and about 15. That is just inside the 30-yard line. So fourth down play here. Twins up top. Twins nearest us. Kelly, low snap coming in off the end. They're going to go to one of the corners. That's going to fall incomplete. That's going to be a turnover on downs. Pass intended for Ray Jefferson, but that was well overthrown, and that'll be the Slam getting a huge stop on the Vixen. And at least somewhat decent field position for the Slam to at least start this possession with. As I was going to mention earlier, in the black uniforms, they're going right to left on your television screen. That is the Vixen traveling with the white tops, black bottoms. And you see the way the sun is setting, everybody getting their retina fried on the field, trying to figure out what the play call is coming in from Coach Q. So Gam, nearest us, blocks coming in to the tight end spot wearing the yellow gloves. Jet to the left, now going to the right. One up top as well, too. Gall awaits the snap. She's going to drop back. She's going to air it out. And it falls right in between Kiana Smith and Ariana Cook. So another one that just kind of, I don't want to say don't know who we were throwing that one to, but she just kind of threw that into no man's land out there. No harm, no foul. Nobody got picked off, but it does stop the clock, brings up second down. So now that will be Amanda Richardson nearest us along with Gam. Block will remain now at a offset tight end. Call that a flanker, if you will. Cook up top. Going to give the ball to Humphrey. Humphrey, she's going to break out. She cuts around. Flag down, so that one should probably be coming back after Humphrey picks up the first down.
She's run out of bounds after a gain of 12. There is a flag on the play.
Looks like Garcia Pedro lost her lid, but a holding call on the Slam's going to bring that back. Brent's shaking her head. looked like clean play to me, but again, I'm not down there on the field along with your referee tonight, Mr. Townsend, and the umpire, Mr. Washington. They're a little closer to the action than we are up here in the press box. So Richardson's going to go up top with Cook, and that will be Gam and Block once again nearest us, with Humphrey in the backfield with Gall. Taking a long time getting the play in here as the clock is still continuing to roll as we've reached the 7:38 mark and counting. Gall came in, she backs up. Richardson in there as well too. Gets the snap. Modest throw, hits Richardson. She's going to get the first down and gets out of bounds. Mans with the hands picks up the first down for the Slam, and they are moving. Give her a gain of 19 on that reception. So nice job by Mans, gaining some confidence from her quarterback, Jamie Gall, being targeted on that throw. And Mans Richardson collecting that one in a big spot. So that will now be Richardson and Gam with Block with the tied end package nearest us. Cook one-on-one up top. Now Humphrey directly behind. She gets the ball. Richardson with a block to spring her out. Misses the neck tackle. Does Noble once again. Gain of a couple, maybe two on the play. Megan Dixon sticking her nose in there with the tackle. So you still have your standard starters up front for the Slam out there on the front five. Gam nearest us. Block was going to join the party. She's going to stay in close, offset. Mans and Cook. Humphrey again, still in the backfield. High snap. Gall's going to roll out. She just gets rid of it. She takes a wallop from Jocelyn Tanner. Again, something that hasn't happened with Gall the last few years, having that protection that she's had. And snap was a little high from Perkins, but it looked like somebody had pulled the plug on a jailbreak, as that was Tanner coming right up the gut and had her eyes on Gall. Gall just gave it a toss to give it a look like she was just getting out of harm's way. No intentional grounding called. Chancellor Hurd back into the game. Gam and Block nearest us. Richardson, Cook up top. Snap back to Gall. Gall, she's going to pump. Had Gam, went up to get it, and it drops out of her fingertips, and that will bring up fourth down. So the Slam, I think, have punted more time in just this first half than they did all of the last two seasons combined. So that'll be Block once again, set to punt. That'll be Britt Peterson and Condi back to return once again. Not often you see two of them back there to return a punt, but they do anyway. Britt Peterson, we saw her last year with Nebraska. She's a force to be reckoned with. Here's Block. Gets a nice spiraling punt. That's going to navigate out at the 32-yard line. So a non-returnable punt. And it is St. Louis Slam 7, Minnesota Vixen 7 as well, too, as we continue here on the WFA Network tonight. Once again, Matt Bates with you here. Thank you to everybody tuning in as we approach 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. Just a couple ticks away from that. But, again, thank you to everybody tuning in and finding tonight's game. And with the expansion of our broadcast horizon tonight, we'd like to also thank any military checking in across, serving our country as well. Thank you for all you do, keeping the red, white, and blue safe at home. Kelly goes underneath now, gets the snap and a pitch out to Kuplik. Look like a hold up top. That won't get called. Kiana Smith. Or was that Zariah Johnson? A little far away up top. Can't really tell that number up top. But the clock is still rolling now as we approach the 5-minute mark until halftime. Kelly coming all the way back in with the play as the ball's on the far hash mark. She had to go all the way across and then all the way back into the huddle. 4-person front for the Slam. Kelly under center once again. Going to hand it off to Radford. Radford, she's going to come nearest us. Cuts back in. Brought down by Raven Williams. Almost got to watch out there for a horse collar tackle, but to no avail. So the ball now on the nearest hash towards us. Solveig Lundberg and Radford nearest us. That will be Kuplik in the backfield, one up top with tight end up top as well too. They're going to give to Kuplik. She blows a tire right around the 45-yard line, and down she goes. Looks like they are going to spot her for a loss of about, call it loss of 2 on the play, as the turf monster came up and got her on the way by. Kelly heading back in. Been a hot minute since we've seen her looking to air one out. So, but she's been going underneath center, which is something you don't see much of anymore at all. Now she's going to go back into standard shotgun formation. Gets that snap. Going to fake the throw. Daniels putting pressure on. Here she goes. Had Lundberg in her eyesights. Kiana Smith just about gave up on the play and just about lost that to Lundberg, who had nothing but green carpet ahead of her. Well, look at me. I'm telling you right now, Kelly didn't miss her by much. And it might have been just a little subtle contact with Kiana Smith was all that was between 6 points and the incomplete pass. Mercy. Well, if you're the St. Louis Slam, you're wiping your brow and thanking the heavens for that one. That brings up now a long third down. Call it 3rd and 10-ish, 3rd and 11. Right in the backfield, low snap. She's going to drop back. She's going to go over the middle. That's bobbled and dropped. Thank you very much. Tried to hit her tight end, Sam Anderson. Off the tight end spot, but that's going to drop to the turf. That's going to bring up a 4th down. That was the proverbial looking to run before you had the ball. And Anderson was trying to bring it in, but as she was turning to head upfield, just made contact with the knee and out it slid. So that is block set to return now. Snap back. Devitt got in there like a rocket. Ball chucks up at the 30, and it's going to continue to roll. Looks like it stayed in bounds. Tap dances down to the 19, so 81 yards of turf for the St. Louis Slam and Jamie Gall to work with as 3:21 left to go here in the opening half from Rockwood Summit High School in St. Louis, Missouri. Your WFA game of the week, and boy, we have got a tight one here tonight. It is St. Louis 7, Minnesota 7. Minnesota getting out to the early lead in quarter number 1, as I had mentioned earlier, at the 6:59 mark, so just a tick under 7 minutes, and that was Radford collecting in an 11-yard pass from Kelly. But then at the 3:35 mark, it was Kerrigan Gam in her first game for the Slam, with a pick 6 of about 70 yards, and the PAT from Knightsling ties it up, and that's where we're at right now. Twins nearest us. Gall under pressure once again. They bring pressure up the middle. Kayla Doby, number 23, comes right up the gut, and Gall is down on the turf. And it looks like they're calling an injury timeout with Gall, so we'll see who's going to be quarterback number 2. As I believe she's going to have to come out for the play, and she is none too happy about that. So a collective deep breath being held over here on the Slam sideline. And we'll see how this is going to shake out as... So Kiana Smith is going to check in, but there hasn't been a quarterback that has checked in unless... So that'll be Gam calling the shots here for the offense. Kerrigan Gam, she's going to hand off to Hurd. That is going to go nowhere. She's driven back into the end zone. And momentum's going to be stopped just outside the goal line. Gall chomping at the bit to get back in there once again. So it is now going to be 3rd and a country mile. They're going to call it 3rd and 20. As they've got to get to the 29-yard line, and the ball's sitting promptly at their own 9-yard line. So a lot of carpet to cover. So, 1, you want to get out of the shadow of the end zone. Number 2, you at least want to get some distance to where if you do have to punt, you're not in your own end zone to do it, because Minnesota has taken some strategic blows up the middle, and we have now reached the 2-minute timeout. This is the WFA Game of the Week right here.
We'd like to recognize and thank our supporters, our sponsors, BJC.
Sometimes it hits. The worry, the what do I do now? BJC Medical Group is right there with you when and wherever you need care. Easy to schedule primary care close to home. Virtual visits when leaving the house feels impossible. And convenient care when kids don't wait. Real people, real care, no runaround. Just answers and the right care right now. BJC Medical Group, right there with you.
Matt Bates back here with you out of the 2-minute timeout break. And so we'll see what happened with Jamie Gall during halftime. I think she was just slow getting up, and the referees blew it as an injury timeout. So Gall had to come out for a play, as that was just a protective measure for the player. But in the process, Gam with the handoff to Chancellor Hurd. And hard count by Gall. Was she able to get him to draw off? It looks like another timeout taken by St. Louis. So once again, last year, Jamie Gall, 2,158 yards, averaging 240 yards a game passing. And she is being tested like nobody's business tonight. Again, had that 65% completion percentage with the 34 touchdowns and 2 INTs, but it's being put to the test here in week 1. The Vixen are giving the Slam everything and then some that they can handle, as they're trying to break this streak that the Slam have set before them. So it's at least 9-0 the last 3 seasons the Slam are against them. And I dare say this is the year where if they were to travel on the road to come to St. Louis, they're putting it to the test tonight. Points at a premium here this evening, and right now sitting at a 3rd and 20. Having used 2 timeouts now. Looks like Gam will be the one wide receiver nearest us. Gall all kinds of protection with Humphrey and Chancellor Hurd in the backfield. She's in her end zone. She's going to air it out, and that's going to fall incomplete as she tried to get Gam. They went from one-on-one coverage, but Peterson and Caitlin Hove came in together on that. I saw the 1-8, and I thought that was a solo 8, but nope, that was 18. And punting out of her own end zone will be Sydney Block, and I dare say I would watch for the Vixen to put on a block. As right now, Sid's every bit 8 yards deep in her end zone. And as I said, points at a premium right now, so if you get even a safety, the Vixen would get the ball back. So we'll see what they have lined up. She's going to get the ball away clean. Condi going to take that. They're going to hand it to Peterson. Peterson's going to shift her way through. She gets over the 30, just shy of the 25. But nice job by Block to get a decent punt away out of the depths of her own end zone. But now you're giving Kelly and company a short field to work with. Testing the mettle of the St. Louis Slam defense right now, and I got to dare say they have stepped up big to help account for some of the deficiencies going on the offensive side of the ball at the moment. So it looks like Gam couldn't tell if she was hobbling, but it looks like she's checked out. So Richardson will be in at a defensive back spot. Block will be at free safety. Zariah and Kiana Smith. Now they're going to move up, offset linebackers, if you will, but there's going to be coverage. Here comes Kennedy Daniels in her face. Zariah Johnson breaks it up. Vixen are looking for a call. Nice job by Johnson. She jumped on the protection there. Went for the ball and didn't allow it to come to her. So that will fall to the ground. That will bring up a second down. And that'll stop the clock with 98 seconds left to go until halftime. Tiffany Wright in the backfield. Twins nearest us, one up top. Tight end up top as well, too. Going to hand it off to Wright. Wright gets through the first wave, but that will be Raven Williams and also Lynette Thomas bringing her down after okay. Under a minute. And you have Wright trying to break out, but is denied by Sydney Block. Okay. Minute 8. So first and goal now for the Vixen as a spider just decided to drop out of the sky. Look to go across. Misses her target. That was Dvorak. That's going to stop the clock. Was a good idea trying to go up there with the two wide receivers and then try to hit Dvorak above, but just not enough on it. So now that will bring up second down. Ball looks like it is sitting at the 6-yard line. So Kelly going to take the shotgun snap. Twins nearest us, one up top. Wright in the backfield. They're going to give it to Wright. She's going to sneak her way through. She goes into the end zone for another touchdown for the Minnesota Vixen. And another lead as well, too. So 6-yard run from Wright as we now await the PAT off the boot of Dershkova. Huge extra point here out of the hold of Lundberg. snap back. Ball down. Ball good. It is now Minnesota Vixen 14, St. Louis Slam 7. We're back for the remainder of quarter number 2 right here on the WFA network.
Sometimes it hits. The worry, the what do I do now? BJC Medical Group is right there with you when and wherever you need care. Easy to schedule primary care close to home. Virtual visits when leaving the house feels impossible. And convenient care when kids don't wait. Real people, real care, no runaround. Just answers and the right care right now. BJC Medical Group, right there with you.
Back here with you at Rockwood Summit High School in St. Louis, Missouri, and it is now the Minnesota Vixen taking another lead, this time 14-7. Paige Kuplick back to kick once again. Short punch on that one. Corralled by Cook at the 25. Gets back out over the 35. Looks like she was still going, or looks like the ball might have come out and was picked up and still brought along by the Slam. But as we approach halftime now, possibly last possession that the Slam will have before halftime. Paramount that they get points off of this, as the Vixen are set to get the ball to start the second half. So on the Slam side of things, you want to take as much time off. So if you do have to kick back off to the Vixen, there's virtually no time left on the clock to do so. But yeah, now you don't want to turn this thing into a shootout to put points up to where you give the Vixen the ball right back with time left in the half. And the ball's turned over. Kiana Smith had her back. And what a shot on the sideline, but that is an interception, as that was Bostic picking that ball off from Gall, as the receiver hadn't turned around yet, but Bostic saw it, and now Vixen are set with 39 seconds left to go in the half as they got the ball deep inside Slam territory once again, and they are putting some kind of pressure on this St. Louis Slam ball club at the moment. Well, everybody knew this was going to be a tough test in week number 1, but you also see some of the stuff just even in this first half with some of the key losses that the Slam had in the offseason, and now you see the product coming out now, and the Vixen are putting everything that they can on the open wounds now. But the Slam defense, see what they have up their sleeve. That's going to be another handoff to Kuplick. Look like another hold up top. She's going to go along the sideline. She gets pushed out by block. It looks like Richardson ran over in the process. She gets up. She was a little slow, but still gets up nonetheless. So after a pickup of 11 on the play, got out of bounds and stops the clock with 30 seconds now. Heads up play to get out of bounds as well, too, not get stood up inside the field of play.
It'll be 1st and 10.
So Vixen break the huddle after the first down run. One up top, two nearest us. That's Radford and Lundberg. Kelly, along with Kuplick in the backfield. And looks like you also have Halverson in there at tight end as well. Another handoff to Kuplick. She's already to the second layer. Alta Peter getting into a little shoving there with Halverson.
Timeout has been called by Minnesota.
Minnesota calls a timeout. 18 seconds. Again, thank you to everybody tuning in. Week number 1, game of the week for the WFA.
Once again, be sure to take
and to everybody that has tuned in along all the other platforms that our broadcast is being shown on Pluto TV, Swerve Women's Sports, Prime Video, Unbeaten, DirecTV, and the All Women's Sports Network, AWSN. Thank you to everybody that has found the feed. Matt Bates here with you for the St. Louis Slam as part of Livestream STL's production for their home games. 14-7 is where we sit, 18.6 seconds left to go until halftime, and the Vixen have the ball at the 14-yard line with a chance to sneak in another round of points before halftime comes upon us. So Dvorak, she's going to go up top. Twins nearest us, tight end nearest us as well too. Kuplik in the backfield. Kelly, all alone, no pressure, hits her target. Zariah Johnson looks to get the tackle. Thought she stepped out of bounds. Apparently not, but out for the Vixen. She's been waving her arms and all kinds of everything else, but okay. So I don't think she blew a timeout. I guess that the clock stopped because the receiver finally went out of bounds, but so it's first down inside the 5. So my guess, like last year, Kuplik should get the first handoff. She's going to go to the corner of the end zone, screened off. Nice job by Richardson up top, cutting off the route by Dvorak. Actually think Mans might have had just as good a shot catching that one as what Dvorak did. But the incomplete pass will now stop the clock, 9.2 seconds. This Slam defense, I'm just telling you right now, the Vixen are throwing everything they can at them, and this is the thing keeping them in the ball game at the moment. Bend but don't break, and here we go. Second down. Snap back. Kuplik. She's going to navigate her way down to the 2 and is stopped there. 1.7 seconds left to go, as another timeout has been taken, but the big ball of thunder known as Paige Kuplik got stopped.
It'll be third down and goal.
So it comes down to this, as timeout has been called officially. With the Vixen with a chance to go up by 2 touchdowns, and then, as I said, they get the ball to start the second half. Slam defense has been under pressure all night from the word go. Slam offense from the opening kickoff as had the fumbled kickoff that rolled out of bounds at around the 5-yard line, putting the Slam offense, and it seems like it's been in a hole they just can't get out of. And if it weren't for the pick 6 on defense, as looks like an attempted field goal now, but watch for the fake, because that is not Dereshkova. Lundberg puts it down, and that will go through, and that is now a 17. It is Minnesota 17, St. Louis Slam 7. We have reached the halftime show. This is the WFA Game of the Week right here on the WFA Networks and Livestream STL.
It's a new season of WFA football and our 6th on the road to Canton. This It's a new season of WFA football and our 6th on the road to Canton. This year you can catch Alex Westhead and myself, Brian Sweeney, at the halftime of each Pro Division game. Let's start by looking at the newest members of the Pro Division. Like in years past, the 2025 Division II champion has moved up to the Pro Division. We welcome the Salt Lake City Wildcats to the American Conference of the Pro Division. 2025 was the Wildcats' first season in the WFA. And behind Laura Gates and Sam Gordon, they finished with a perfect 9-0 season and the Division II National Championship. They will look to be the first team to go from a D2 championship win to a Pro Division championship appearance. And joining the National Conference in the Pro Division this season is the Cincinnati Cougars. Last season in Division II, they outscored their opponents 339 to 163. This was done with a combined 46 tackles for a loss and 18 interceptions. In 2024, the Cougars were dominant at the D3 level, winning the national championship, and last season at D2, they went 6-2. Alex, your thoughts on the two new teams in the Pro Division?
It's a rare addition to have a team that has as much experience, but also the same amount of youth as what the Salt Lake Wildcats have. I'm really curious to see how they do in this jump to the top flight, but the same too with the Cincinnati Cougars. It's a team that has played against teams at that top division before and has had some success, but in an Eastern Conference that's desperately looking for more teams to emerge as threats, I'd be curious to see how Cincinnati does in there.
The rest of the National Conference looks like this. After a 6-3 finish in 2025, the DC Divas look to make a second straight trip to Canton at the end of July. Missing the national championship by one game and finishing 6-2 last season are the Pittsburgh Passion. And rounding out the National Conference are the Tampa Bay Inferno, who went 2-5. Alex, Philly was replaced by Cincinnati. And we also have three very well-established teams in the National Conference. Who represents this conference in Canton this year?
Well, until we actually see what these teams are able to do, you have to go with what we know from years past. For me right now, you look at DC, you look at Pittsburgh, and you figure it's probably one of those two that'll be in Canton, Ohio. I think in years past I was a little harsh on the Pittsburgh Passion, where there were so many injuries that really made it difficult for them to advance into the championship game in 2024, specifically against Boston. Same too last year against DC when they ran out of time and weren't able to withstand the pressure that DC put on them. I think if Pittsburgh can stay healthy, I like what they have as a team this year, but that's my biggest question for them, is that health. Can they stay healthy for a full regular season and postseason? Likewise with DC, you look at that team and they had a lot of exciting comebacks. How do you play a full four-quarter game this year for the Divas?
And rounding out the American Conference, finishing 2025 at 5-2, the Cali War looked to get back to the national championship for the first time since 2021. After their first non-winning season this decade, the Houston Energy looked to rebound and improve from last year's 500 finish. Also finishing 3-3 in 2025, we have the Nevada Storm. They won the D3 championship in 2019 and the D2 in 2021, but have only made the postseason once since then. Since their Division II championship in 2022, the Mile High Blaze have been looking to get back to a national championship. Last season, they finished 3-4. Finishing 2025 at 4-4 and making the postseason every year since joining the WFA in 2017, the Minnesota Vixen look to make it back to Canton for the first time since 2022. And rounding out the American Conference are the St. Louis Slam. Not only have they won back-to-back Pro Division championships, they have not lost a game since the 2023 National Championship game. Alex, Dallas was replaced this season by Salt Lake City, and the rest of the American Conference is loaded with talent. Who represents this conference in Canton at the end of July?
Well, a deep, talented conference that even got deeper just by adding Salt Lake City alone. You look at the teams, and I think St. Louis is the place to start because they have the championship pedigree. They lost some on the offensive side of the ball, specifically Taylor Hay at running back and at the center position, but they also added some in the offseason too. Great skill positions. We've talked about them at length before. Jamie Gall's still a great quarterback. There's a lot to like in St. Louis, and I think that the other teams have risen to try to get closer to them. Minnesota adding a lot of nice pieces from a Nebraska team, maybe thinking about making a change at quarterback as well. I like what Minnesota's done in this offseason. Curious to see how it plays out in the field. And then you look at the Cali War, another good team. You're looking for some more defensive help, but Spidey Barrett remains the best individual player in the league by far. If she can continue to get assists from great quarterbacking core that the Cali War have, they could be a challenging threat as well. And then the other part, you look at Salt Lake, a team that is young, but a team that is experienced. That could be a team that has the potential to be that number one team, not just in the American Conference, but in the WFA as a whole.
Lois Cook is back this season to introduce us to the players that make up the Pro Division. She kicks things off this season with Laura Gates of the Salt Lake City Wildcats in her segment, A Timeout with Lo.
My name is Laura Gates. I play quarterback and safety, and I play for the Salt Lake Wildcats.
You have a very special beginning to the WFA. Tell me, where did the Wildcats come from?
So I started the Wildcats. I've been playing since I was 10. I played on a different women's football team based in Utah. It wasn't everything that I wanted for women in sports. It wasn't everything that I wanted personally for my football career. So might as well start a new team.
What happened as a result of that season?
In 2025, we won the National D2 Championship undefeated.
What does that feel like?
Oh my gosh, when we won the first game, I cried. You don't really know what it's gonna be like when you're creating this team in this environment and you're just going kind of blind. We didn't scrimmage anybody, like we weren't able to have that. So going into the first game, I don't think I've ever been so nervous in my whole life. And then, you know, we were super successful, and I just remember crying after the first game and like hugging my dad, just being super excited, and then seeing that progress continue, and this year hopefully continue to do that and bringing the next level.
What do you want for women in football? What do you want for you in football?
I just want to show how aggressive and passionate and how well we're able to play the sport. I wanted more competitive side of the game, and I was hoping to bring that, and luckily we did. When we were first trying to figure out which league to go to, when we talked to Lisa, it was almost like an instant, this is where we're coming. It was everything that we were looking for as far as competitive nature and just being able to also show everybody else like what we're capable of. The WFA just gives us a platform to be able to showcase what happens when you have youth. And they have a program for it, somewhere that they can have a sanctuary and to be able to develop that talent at such a young age, give the girls somewhere where they want to go. And the WFA provides kind of us being able to show that. We did last year when we played in the championship, and now hopefully other states can start to grow their own, and they can start developing their youth programs and being able to feed into their own teams and having such a high success rate. Now I know I'm able to do anything and continue to just play football, but now I get to play through the WFA Pro, and that is part of my backstory, and that's part of my success. That difficulty and those trials that I had to overcome, now presenting into the WFA just makes it so personal for me and just brings that happiness out and kind of is a safe place now where I get to go.
I'm looking forward to see what Laura and the Wildcats can do in their first season at the pro level. All right, Alex, we have Lois's picks. Who do you think gets the wins in week 1? Cincinnati or Columbus?
I think Cincinnati takes this one. Big win over them last year. I'd like the same again here to start this year.
Minnesota at St. Louis.
Minnesota, nice additions on the offensive side. If this game is in Minnesota, I have a different choice, but with it being in St. Louis, I take the Slam.
Houston at Zydeco.
Houston, a team that underperformed last year. playing against a team that didn't play last year. Give me the energy here in this one.
Nevada at Oregon.
Nevada, I think, just slightly, a little bit of a down season. The way that they ended their regular season is a concern for me, but I like Nevada in this matchup.
Salt Lake City at Mile High.
Oh, good luck to the Mile High defense. Give me Salt Lake all day long.
And finally, River City at Cali.
Cali, 100%. Again, Spidey Bear just exploding onto the scene, and we'll do so again to start this 2026 season.
Enjoy the second half of tonight's game, and we'll see you next week on the road to Canton.
Has the first down. Barrett breaks a tackle into the 20. It's picked up a block. He's going to get in a wide open pass and take him down.
It's time.
We're all football players. Y'all are football players, okay?
Down. Good. Montiello's going to go straight ahead. Got a receiver caught. Touchdown. They're back again. What a catch. Houdiniac. Public. She breaks another tackle. There's now one for
Dawn, champions are made. Every fan, every athlete, every moment counts. It's not just a game, it's a passion that unites us, drives us, and makes us strive for greatness. Greatness is wherever fans connect and call home. We believe in the power of the community. We believe in turning passion into action. We bring fans closer and transform loyalty into unforgettable experiences. Join us. Make every moment matter. Fan Club. Get your fans in the game.
You know the moments, the feeling in your feet, the rhythm of ambition, that extra, that aha, that sight.
That's something.
The click, the shift, the boom, and you're there. The mess becomes a map, and you call it art, or science, or code, because now you know the way forward. For all the moments that drive you, there's edX. Fuel your ambition with thousands of job-relevant courses and programs at edX.org.
To her left, has time, throws on the run to the end zone. It's caught for a touchdown. Pittsburgh team.
The athletes, they're the backbone of this whole league, and they're just amazing people. They've got amazing stories.
Barrett in the pattern, they're looking for her. Able to bring that one in, Brianna Barrett. My goodness.
I never thought I'd be here. I feel like the best things in life are things that come to you unexpected. So it's been a great journey for me.
I know this is where I'm supposed to be.
Caught touchdown, Jada Meister.
Essentially is true of breaking barriers, right?
She could go all the way, and she does. Touchdown.
We're shattering the glass ceiling.
Great pass up in the air. Touchdown.
All of the women role models that we look up to are all women who did things that were not expected.
They realize they're pioneers. They realize that the trail that they leave is going to be a path that a young girl can follow. It gives you hope.
They believe in themselves, I believe in them, and Frank will believe in all of us. So it just goes with the territory.
And as we can see, the future of technology is with us. You might be thinking, Doc, this is truly amazing. And we got.
Hey, is the projector ready? Come on, time for a team meeting.
The feeling in your feet, the rhythm of ambition, that extra, that aha, that sight.
That's something.
The click, the shift, the boom. And you're there. The mess becomes a map. And you call it art, or science, or code. Because now, you know the way forward. For all the moments that drive you, there's edX. Fuel your ambition with thousands of job-relevant courses and programs at edX.org.
2026. Shout out to James. Yeah.
I should feel like I should feel like I should feel like I should go. Go. Feel like I should go. Feel like I should feel like I should feel like I should feel like I should go. Feel like I should go. Feel like I should feel like I should feel like I should feel like I should.
Knightsling is going to boot that one all the way down. That'll be handled by Dvorak. She's out over the 20, out over the 30, almost to the 40, down at around the 38-yard line. And that is where that Vixen offense will take over once again with a 10-point lead. Again, for those just tuning in, recapping the scoring in quarter number one, it was Radford with an 11-yard TD pass from Kelly at the 6:59 mark with the PAT, made it 7-0. Kerrigan Gam at the 3:35 mark picked off Kelly and returned that 70 yards on a pick six with the PAT. That's the Slam's only points coming via defense. In the second quarter, it was kind of ho-hum until the last minute, 52.3 seconds. That was a 6-yard run from White with the PAT, and then as time expired, the 18-yard field goal, and that's where we're at right now. Kuplik up around the neck, being brought down. Tay Johnson in there, along with number 50, Kennedy Daniels, Ken. Couple Division I Slam Americans. Lynette Thomas in the middle. She's going to check out, and that will now be, that's number 71, T. Robinson. Another rookie to the Slam roster. She comes in 5'10", 250. That's going to be Radford in motion. Kelly just going to put that one in the dirt. That was an incomplete pass. I saw that from up here, so should be an easier call for the referee. Richard Townsend on that. You even have the back judge coming in as well, too. There's Scott Jones waving it off. So brings up a 2nd and 8. And And again, no active 40-second play clock, and the Vixen, with the running in back and forth, I mean, that play clock's got to be under 10 at least right now, as at least 30 seconds of life has ticked off. They're going to break the huddle. Lundberg nearest us, Radford, the other one nearest us, one up top. Kuplick in the backfield once again joining Kelly. Snap back. Daniels gets in there, didn't get the hands up, but you see Block in there coming along with Zariah Johnson. They're going to break it up, collide, but the ball will fall to the turf, and that will bring up 4th down. So Slam defense, at least right now, are setting it up to where they get a 3-and-out from the Minnesota Vixen to start this second half, as that will be number 30, Megan Dixon, set the punt. All hands on deck for this. Devitt, she gets in there. The ball goes over the head of Dixon. She downs her at the 18-yard line. So things just went from bad to worse for the Vixen on that, as not only did they not get the ball off, the snap rolled back to Dixon. She goes down, falls on it at the 18-yard line. Devitt was in hot pursuit. So Jamie Gall and company get a chance to just come right out in this first minute and look to put a score up. But got to have a clean possession along the way in order to do that. So in the whole grand scheme of what did we learn at halftime, we will find out. As I'm sure Coach Q was none too happy about the performance from the offensive side in the first half. Gam, Block, nearest us. Cook up top. Jet in the backfield to the left of Gall. Low snap. She looks to air it out to the corner, and that will fall incomplete in between two Minnesota defenders, as Bostic was one of them way up top, which went from a one-on-one going to the corner to where all of a sudden it was two defenders and turned into Cook trying to break it up and not get intercepted. So that'll bring up second down now. So you would think they'd look to, get the ball to Humphrey, get her a run in, or at least go to Block or Gam up top. Well, there's Humphrey. She's going to try to navigate around to the top. She does. Sneaks in, gets about 5 on the play, and you see the whole herd of cattle over there looking to bring her down. But to no avail. We'll see if they ruled her out. Apparently not. She was upright in the field of play, so clock will continue to roll. 2.5 minutes into this third quarter. So it's going to bring up a 3rd and 6, and we'll just see what kind of trick they have up their sleeve right now. Do the St. Louis Slam. You have Gam. They need to snap the ball, as there's nobody on her right now. Now the one moves over. Looks like Lundberg's debating about whether to blitz off the end or not, but you got Gam one-on-one. Gall, low snap, throws it to the end zone, and it's knocked down and batted away. That'll bring up a 4th down, and what will the Slam do here? As they do have a chance to pick up a 1st down in the process, and if that were to happen, you could back up the Vixen, deep in their own territory, but the Slam need a score to get and be relevant back in this game again. So you have Gam and you have Block. I mean, one scenario, you could bring Block out of that package, run her across the middle of the field, see if you could get, because they've got the middle of this field blocked up. And they don't they're not looking to be dropping anybody back either. They're sniffing around the nose of the football, so we'll see here if they run a fire drill with Gall. She's going to get it. She's going to pump. She goes to the corner. Kiana goes off of her hands and out of bounds, and that will be a turnover on downs for the St. Louis Slam, and back out come the Minnesota Vixen offensive personnel once again. 3 minutes and 7 seconds into quarter number 3, and it's been an entertaining 3:07, I dare say. Kelly out with the play. Break the huddle. Lundberg nearest us, along with 84 Mackenzie Reed. Twins up top. Here's a toss to right. Lundberg got shoved back into the backfield, disrupted the package. Back in comes Kennedy Daniels. As they say, no gain. So brings up 2nd and 10. Nice job by Ken to stretch that out, reads that. And deposits right down into the turf. So that will now be Ray Jefferson, the lone back, nearest us, Twins up top, right in the backfield. Daniels trying to put pressure on, can't come around. Ball is going to wind up falling incomplete.
Brings up 3rd down and 10.
So 3rd down with that incomplete pass. Kelly, once again, all the way to the sideline, all the way back out. Wash, rinse, repeat with that. So Jefferson with the white leggings nearest us, Twins up top again, right in the backfield. Here's Kelly. Daniels and company looking, gets her pass over and completed at the 35-yard line. Big 3rd down play. Falls right in between Johnson and Devitt. Radford collects the pass on the big 1st down. She's going to check out. Halverson will check in now. Was the stop that the Slam were looking for, but to no avail. Kelly with a nice job of airing it out. Finds her target, holds on to the ball. That's going to be Jefferson going in motion. They're going to fake to her. They're going to pitch the other way back to right. She's going to be ran out of bounds and pushed out.
Right, the ball carrier.
Looks like that was Glass pushing her out, number 92. TJ Glass.
It'll be 2nd and 6.
So Glass and Thomas both will check out. See, I believe, yes, that is LaTanya Cotton, who's checked in now at the nose guard spot 44 for the Slam. See what kind of pressure she wants to put up front. Pass out into the flat to Dvorak. Gets around Richardson. Richardson's going to come back, tries to chase her. They get out of bounds just shy of the sticks and the 1st down marker. Cotton they used last year on a more defensive end spot, but that's being occupied by Kennedy Daniels right now. So they have her right over the ball at the nose guard spot. Kelly, Twins nearest us, one up top. They're going to hand it to Kuplik. Kuplik now, she turns upfield, and she is stuck, but not after a big pickup. Picks up the 1st down. Gam with a tackle. But another first down, big chunks of yards being chewed up here by Minnesota. Tay Johnson, Tay, she's going to check out. Kelly once again drops back. No pressure to speak of. Has Jefferson. Little shove from Gam. Uncatchable ball, but no flag thrown on the play. Jefferson had the coverage beat, but 3 Slam defenders collapsed on the ball to break it up. So brings up second down with that incomplete pass. Again, another huge third down pickup for the Vixen to keep this possession going. She's going to go under center this time. Twins nearest us, one up top. Gets Radford going. The end around to Radford as she comes by. Brooklyn Devitt wraps her up, and it appears she is short. And we'll bring up a 3rd and 1, but we'll see where the spot is at.
No gain on the play.
So they are ruling no gain. Or actually, it's 3rd and 10. I'm sorry. I did not see the other yard marker down there. I thought it was 3rd and 1, but it's 3rd and 10. Call it 3rd and 11, if you will. So even bigger than a bigger stop right here. As the Slam, if they can get a turnover on downs, they're sitting at their own 44. But right now, the Vixen have the ball. They have control of their own destiny. They go Twins back up top once again. Kelly, no pressure to speak of up front, and that will fall incomplete. That will bring up 4th down. And Kelly trotting off the field, so it does look like they will go to their punt formation and Solveig Lundberg. And that will be Sydney Block set to return. 17-7, still the score. 7:37, the amount of time left to go in quarter number 3. Punt formation, so we'll see what they have lined up. As there's one up top, offset flanker, 2 nearest us. We're going to give the ball to Kuplich. Cotton was in on her. Kennedy Daniels chasing her like nobody's business. Mary Altepeter right there at the sideline. Just enough contact to not get the flag thrown, so that will now be a turnover on downs. And actually, that is E. Wagner, number 43, that has been on defense, as I see the hair that has moved away, revealing the 3. So that was not Cotton out there. That was E. Wagner getting her first snaps in on the defensive side of the ball for the Slam. But now we flip the script, and out comes the Slam offense. Modest field for Jamie Gall and company to work with, but that is not the issue at the moment. Jamie's needing some clean snaps and some protection up front and no leaking through, but that's going to be a tough proposition as you see the Vixen stacking the box. Every bit, 7 of them standing around. So there's a handoff. Chancellor Hurd, she's going to get it. Breaks out over midfield, over the 50, into the Vixen territory. Shadana Chancellor Hurd breaking out of the package. Heard that. Also checking into the ball game, Marnita Wolfolk, number 83 at the wide receiver spot. Brixon is out there along with Cook. Jada the Jet will be in the backfield. Been a hot minute since we've seen a split back formation from the Slam as well, too, with looks like that is blocked tight to the package. They get a block from her. throws it out into the flat to hit Humphrey. Humphrey tries to get around. She breaks out of one tackle, dives forward to the 40.
Gain of 7 on the play. It'll be second down and 3.
Give her a gain of 7 on the play. That's going to bring up second and short and a chance for Gall and company to maybe look to light one up a little further down the field, as it is only second and 3. Would still put you in very makeable third down territory. But it looks like if they could speed up the play calling coming in, they just need to get like a little bit of life under them, and they don't even go to the sidelines to get the play like Kelly does, but it seems like it's taken a long time to get the play in. Hand off to Hurd, and she promptly gets deposited to the turf right at the 45-yard line, and a loss on the play. Not really the direction and the play that I thought was gonna be called, but so the handoff to Hurd went nowhere. Kiana Smith is going to check in. Block now comes nearest to us. That will be Jada the Jet, and that's actually Gam. That's block coming in. Gam is splitting out even farther. So the clock running, 5:30 and counting. Gall going to drop back a little farther to line up with Humphrey in the backfield. Again, stacking the box are the Vixen. Over the middle, hits block. Holds onto the ball in front of Britt Peterson. Takes 3 of them to bring her down, but Sid block. Sydney down at the 29-yard line. Gall has time. Gall has patience. Gall gets the ball delivered to block in a big way. Big pickup for the Slam to keep the possession moving. Cook up top one-on-one with Bostic. Block and Gam here nearest us. Humphrey still in the backfield. Now Block's going to move in a little tighter. Gall, hand off to Humphrey. Humphrey. She's going to stick her nose back inside that pile. And she'll get dropped around the 28-yard line.
Gain of 1 on the play. It'll be second down and 9.
Hard fought, 1 yard gained on that play, I would say. Doby checking in on defense for the Vixen. Again, another 15, 20 seconds to get the play in. No scoring so far here in quarter number 3 as we approach the 4-minute mark. Twins up top, Twins nearest us. Humphrey in the backfield, she breaks out. Throws it off the block. She shakes out a 1 tackle. Tries to sneak back around, gets a block from Gam. She's still down the sideline and out of bounds. Close to the first down marker. See where they spot it at. Is that just a little short? Going to make it a third and very manageable 2 yards. Again, thank you to everybody tuning in tonight as we have passed the 8 p.m. mark, Central Standard Time here in St. Louis, Missouri. As we kick off week number 1 of the WFA action, and this is your WFA game of the week, and it has been everything and then some. Here's Gull. Tried a little hard count. They're going to toss it the block. Comes off the end, looking for a block from Humphrey, but she's going to pick up the first down. Does Sydney block as coming across, a little flip from Gall, and
There is a flag on the play.
And there apparently is a flag down right there near the end of the play. So we'll see what the call is. Vixen have been quite due for a penalty here for the longest time, so we'll see. Offsides on the defense. So Gall Got him to take a little bit of the bait that she was throwing out there. Little too much jumping over the nose of the ball. That will cost the Vixen chance for a stop on that third down, as the result of the play is a first down for the St. Louis Slam. Block and Gam nearest us. That is number 9 and number 6 up top. Ariana Cook and Jada the Jet Humphrey in the backfield. Kiana Smith just a little tighter to the package. Snap back. Gall has time. Has a receiver out of the route, and that will fall incomplete to Kiana Smith. So in a very quick manner, that just brings up a 2nd and 10. But there's no pump fake by Gall to stare off anybody else. When she goes set or looks to her right, that's where the ball's going. If she looks to her left, that's where it's going to go. I'd like to see Block and Gam maybe do a cross route, something like that, just to mix things up, to shake the eyeballs up off that Vixen defense. But right now, in the backfield, they're going to give it to Humphrey. Humphrey, she's going to make her way down just shy of the 15-yard line. See how many they give her on that, but I would say let's call it 3rd and 5.
It'll be 2nd and 6.
Checking out is going to be Garcia Pedro. Checking in is going to be 96 Cynthia Bryant, 5'8", 305. Mercy. So now, approaching the 2-minute mark. Left to go here in quarter number 3, and chip and chew and chunk away the clock. That's what the Slam are doing on this drive. Keep the ball out of the hands of the Vixen. And it looks like a timeout has been taken by the Vixen. Once again, no scoring here in quarter number 3, with now under 2 minutes left to go. It is 1:58. 17-7, the Vixens still with that 10-point lead, and you see again how big that field goal was at the end of the half. Just to create and cause a little more separation. That a score does put you down by 3, but still going to need another possession to tie it back up. But the Slam and company just chewing precious time off the clock on this drive. And looking here at some point to see if they can produce any fruit off of it. And I would speculate that, needing 3 points in some capacity, if there's a spot here inside the 20 to maybe get Knightsling a chance to kick a field goal of the Slam zone, could possibly do that. But don't want to get too far over my skis here on the predicting side of the ledger. So out of the timeout, they're going to go with one wide receiver nearest us. Block's going to stay in, 2 block. One up top, Humphrey to the left. Snap back. Here's Gall. Pressure being put on. Goes to the corner. Went to Kiana Smith one more time, but has Kerrigan Gam standing all alone with nobody around her, but had a blitz from the defensive end spot. Put Gall under some kind of pressure. But had that play gone out to the left instead of to the right, she had one wide receiver all alone. Right now you have 2-on-1 as they split Block and Gam out. But the Vixens seem to be quite content on stacking the box and bringing as many as they can in to put pressure on Jamie Gall and the offensive line. So we'll see what happens here as it is 4th down. She goes back to the right. Has Gam. Gam's going to shake and bake. Looks like a neck tackle, a horse collar. She's being stopped short. That's going to be a turnover on downs, but last time I checked, when you brought somebody down by the nape of the neck, that was a horse collar tackle. But the Vixen, they stood up the defense, or stood up the offense, stood Gam up, and created enough distance to where she was unable to pick up the first down. So that will be a turnover on downs, and the Vixen take over inside their own 20-yard line. Looks like the 13-yard line, if you will. Almost kind of a script flip to the first half, where it seemed like the Vixen had the shorter of the fields to work with, where now the Slam have had short fields to work with, but just have been unable to put any points up off of it. So now with 1:42 left to go here in quarter number 3, Lundberg and Radford once again. Nearest us, one up top. Radford's going to go in motion now. They're going to give it to Wright. She goes right up the middle. Daniel's going to follow the play down, and Kinkin's going to grab her a tackle.
Right, the ball carrier.
Looks like Wright got her ankle twisted up just a touch. She comes off. That's going to be Kuplik checking back in.
4 on the play. It'll be second down and 6.
They do give her a gain of 4 on that play. See Mary Altapeter in there in the middle linebacker spot. Haven't called her name a whole heck of a lot tonight. Block going to move over to the short hash marks on the free safety spot. They're going to toss it to Kuplik, the complete other way. And Kuplik's going to rake out about 5, but enough to get the first down, move the sticks, get a fresh set of downs.
Gain of 7 on the play. It'll be first down for Minnesota.
And it looks like Minnesota now looking to go with a little hurry up, as something that I've really kind of been mentioning that both teams really could be or should be doing just to break up some of the monotony here. But right now the Vixen, they're wanting it. Broken up by Zariah Johnson.
Pass is incomplete.
As that ball will fall short, intended for Radford, but Z didn't turn around to see where the ball was at, but had enough wherewithal to get the hands up to knock the pass down in the process, and that will stop the clock with 39 seconds left to go here in quarter number 3 from Rockwood Summit High School here in St. Louis, Missouri. Matt Bates with you. To everybody tuning in from the Livestream STL network, along the other platforms being made available tonight, thank you once again. Awesome evening to be a part of on this game of the week for the WFA. Here's Kuplik. She gets around one end, and Glass just T-balls her. Kuplik did not see that one coming and just knocked her.
It'll be third down and 7.
And after a gain of about 3, that's going to bring up a 3rd and 7. It's TJ Glass, 92. Yeah, that'll work the kinks out. And time will run out for quarter number 3. There's no score, but we head to the 4th. It is the Minnesota Vixen 17, the St. Louis Slam 7. We're back for the 4th after this.
Sometimes it hits. The worry. The what do I do now? BJC Medical Group is right there with you when and wherever you need care. Easy to schedule primary care close to home. Virtual visits when leaving the house feels impossible. And convenient care when kids don't wait. Real people, real care, no runaround. Just answers and the right care right now. BJC Medical Group, right there with you.
Back out of the break. We get ready for the start of quarter number 4. And the St. Louis Slam have a 10-point deficit, so the Minnesota Vixen Vixen once again giving the Slam everything they can handle and then some. And right now the lead differential is the same as Aaron Kelly's jersey number. That's how many points the Slam need to get back into this. But right now, going to have their work cut out. Maybe another pick six, who knows, but Slammer needing to do something here on defense to get the ball turned over once again as play is blown dead.
Timeout has been taken by Minnesota.
Minnesota calls another timeout, as that's Julia Kemp checking in as well too, along with E. Wagner once again. Kemp last year, she spent some time with the Slam as well too. Little time at defensive end, little time running the ball at the running back spot, was on special teams, had a big fumble recovery in the playoffs, recovering a fumble on a kickoff. So Julia Kemp, not one to mess around with, 5'2", $185. So we'll see how many more timeouts the Vixen have left to work with. Scoreboard says 2nd and 11. But that was 2nd and 11 from the 11, so ergo that. Ball's thrown behind. Ball is caught. Block blew a tire coming in, but that was reeled in by the tight end, Sam Anderson.
Halverson. Play results in the Minnesota first down.
So Anderson, who doesn't have any red dye in her uniform numbers because of an allergy. A couple Slam players ping-balling off of each other there with Tay Johnson and Kemp. Ball falls incomplete. So not even a minute in. We're 30 seconds into quarter number 4, and pace of play has kind of just reached a standstill. But right now, if you're the Minnesota Vixen, you got a 10-point lead, and you've got everything in the world ahead of you right now. So Twins up top, Twins nearest us. One in the backfield. Going to throw it to hit right out of the backfield. Here comes Glass. And right into the player's tent. Goes right after the shove out by T.J. Glass. Well, nice job by Glass, as there was no gain on that play. So Kuplik will be checking in, and it will be Sam Anderson checking out. Wright will also check out too, with the addition of Kuplik coming into the package. So Lundberg and Radford going up top. They were moving up there with some kind of purpose, so we shall see. Ball's going to go to Kuplik. Couple Slam defenders penetrating through there, knifing through there. Brooklyn Devitt, T.J. Glass. Another play of no gain. That will bring up 4th down. And a mass exodus from the offensive side for the Vixen as they now send out the punt unit. That'll be Hove checking in up top, Caitlin Hove. Haven't seen much of her tonight. Here's a punt from Dixon. Straight up the chute. Look out so it doesn't hit a Slam player, and that's going to go out of bounds. We'll see where the official spot is at. That'll be right at the 40-yard line. So 60 yards of turf for Jamie Gall and company to work with.
Eagles will take over 1st and 10.
So as I mentioned, next game will be May 9th. That'll be against the Cincinnati Cougars. That game will also be here at Rockwood Summit. Week number 3 at Houston to take on the Houston Energy. Then week 4, another WFA game of the week as the Slam travel to Minnesota to take on the Vixen up at their house. Gall and company back out, one nearest us. One up top and one tight to the package. Humphrey in the backfield. Loading the box once again. Picked up. And ball was intended for Gam, it looked like, but one was throwing to the left, one was running to the right. So incomplete pass now brings up 2nd down. Ariana Cook will be the receiver nearest us. And that'll be Gam at the top of the package. Block, the tight end, at the top of that package as well, next to the tackle up there, Petey Green. Kiana Smith, tight end as well, too, on this side. They're going to give it to Humphrey. She stops to survey the situation. She's going to get back to the line of scrimmage. But that'll bring up 3rd down.
Gain of a yard on the play. It'll be 2nd down and 9. Correction, 3rd down and 9.
Well, no gain, 1 yard either way. 3rd and 10, 3rd and 9, still 3rd and long for the Slam to keep this drive alive. That'll be Humphrey to Gall's right. Waits the snap from Perkins. Did not get anybody to bite on that. As she tried a hard count. Comes set, waits for the snap. Back from Perkins. Has Cook. That'll fall incomplete. That'll bring up 4th down now. And that will now be coming out as the incomplete pass stops the clock, just a tick under 12 minutes left to go here in this contest. Sydney Block back to punt once again. After week 1, I would guess she's probably going to be the leading punter come week 6. Kicks that one a little rugby style. Peterson, she's going to flip it back to Condi. Condi brought down just shy of the 40-yard line. And it looks like she took a little hit from Gam on the way by. Over at. As right now the game's just being played inside the 20s. And no scoring since that 18th half. But if you're the Minnesota Vixen, you don't care because you're up by 10 and you've got the points in your pocket. Jefferson up top. Radford's going to go in motion. They're going to toss it out to Kuplik. Caught in the backfield and brought down from behind by Brooklyn Devitt, stretching things out. Brooklyn Devitt last year, 56 tackles, 8 TFLs, a sack and a half, and 8 PBUs. Give her a TFL on that play. Tackle for loss. Big play by 47 in black out there. Ball now just spotted right at the touch of the 35-yard line. They need to get to the 49, their own 49, to get the first down. Kelly going to roll out after the fake to Kuplik. A little pressure being put on. Altepeter chasing her. Kennedy chasing her. And the late hit out of bounds as Kelly just got whacked into the middle of next week. But unable to slow down along the sideline, and that will now cost the Slam a fresh 15 yards, and that'll be a first down for the Vixen. As that shot occurred along the far side of the field, just when the Slam had them wrapped up on a long to go. Ball will now be spotted at that 49-yard line of Minnesota. So they collect the 15 yards that they needed. And that is where they set up at 1 yard shy of midfield. So a breath of fresh air has been blown back into the Minnesota Vixen once again. Snap back to Kelly. Handoff to Kuplik. Kuplik being taken down from behind by Brooklyn Devitt. Give Kuplik a gain of 3 on the play. You're going to take the wrecking ball out, and they're going to bring in the little stick of dynamite, which is number 0, Tiffany Wright, 5'4", 140. Dvorak, the one nearest us, tied in, 2 up top. She's going to throw it to the back up top. That's going to be Ray Jefferson. She's met and brought down by a trio. Looks like the ball came loose. But are they ruling her down by contact, as it looked like that ball came out when she was spun around?
It'll be 3rd down and 7.
So they say no. Still in the possession of the Vixen. Time still ticking down. 9:25 and running. As the sun has gone down and just a modest little breeze blowing through, but definitely nowhere near the 84 that we had at kickoff. Jefferson up top. Wright still in the backfield. Here's Kelly. She's just going to roll it out. She's going to drop it off. Hits her tight end. Gets out of the tackle of Glass. Gets out of the tackle of another one, but Gam's going to bring her down with authority. Mercy. Might be a D1 softball player, but boy, you wouldn't know it the way she's bringing them down on the defensive side. There's a blitz through the middle. Kemp and Devitt both trailing out from behind. Pickup of the first down. Sticks move. Clock continuing to run. Vixen still up by 10. Just a slow, methodical death by 1,000 cuts. Jefferson's going to check out. The only sign of life the Slam have had was on the pick 6 from Gam, taking it to the house and tying the game up way back in quarter number 1 at 7-7. But it's been the Vixen, before and after that. Here's Wright. She's going to break out of the pitch. Devitt's going to swing her around, throws her ahead for about another yard. Give her a gain of about 5.
Gain of 2 on the play.
Gain of 2.
It'll be 2nd and 8.
So that'll be Sam Anderson going to the tight end. Flag on the play. False start. And you hear the crowd now. It's about the loudest they've been since the interception. So with the penalty, moving them back 5, that'll be 2nd and 15. But again, cannot allow the Vixen to get another first down and cannot allow them to put any more points up. So, you know, I mean, it's only 2 things to ask of the defense, but you've been doing that ever since they've been on defense to start the game. And maybe that's just what Slam defense needs to do, is try to figure out how to generate some more points on defense. They've already generated the 6 on the touchdown already, but there's a pass right over the 40-yard line. That's Jefferson. She's going to check out, and that'll be Mackenzie Reed checking in. So it is going to bring up a 3rd and relatively long 3rd and 7, but here's once again where the defense needs to step up. Because you would think this is probably 4-down territory for the Vixen. But again, Kelly and company taking their own sweet time as we approach now the 6-minute mark. There's a handoff to Wright. Wright's going to get the first down, tackled from behind. Mary Altepeter and Kemp, and actually the tackle from behind pushed her forward to ensure the first down. And the possession still for the Minnesota Vixen. Sylvie Lundberg checking out. Kelly checking in. Vixen just slow and methodical. No need to rush things on their end. The Slam, they just chomping at the bit to get the ball back. There's a play right up the middle. Good night, Tay Johnson. Mercy. Loss of 2 on the play. And once again, come to a screeching halt as we wait for the play to get called in. Kelly and company break the huddle. Radford going up top. I would watch pass going to her. Again, Mackenzie Reed, 84. They got trips nearest us. Kuplik in the backfield. She's being hounded, chased. Pass caught by Kuplik. Actually, Glass thought they had broken up the play. And it looks like actually that the Vixen are going to get a first down out of this, or if not, just the nose of the ball short. But either way, what went from a possible pass breakup goes to goes for a first down for the Vixen. So the ball sitting at the 18-yard line. And you see a lot of the Slam players right now bent over. One of the few games where you have seen this defensive group out here a bunch. Normally they're stopping teams, they're getting the 3 and outs and not spending a great deal of time on the field, but not so much is the case this game here against the Vixen, first half or second half. Snap back to Kelly. That goes off her intended target. That hit Halverson up around the shoulder pads. Stops the clock with the incomplete pass, brings up a 2nd and 10. Stops the clock with a precious 3 minutes and 7 seconds. So it does look like the defensive side of the ball and Coach Q are looking to create a little more havoc, a little more of a blitz package up through the middle, if you will. But right now the Vixen have all the answers. They're going to go twins up top. That's going to be one-on-one with Dvorak down nearest us. Kuplik still in the backfield. Why not give it to her again? But not so fast, says that Slam defense. Tay Johnson once again. 2-yard loss. Devitt in there as well, too. Looks like that is Gam that is going to be checking out. Block will check in now at the free safety spot. Clock still rolling, 2:35. Slam might be looking to gang tackle. Got to figure out how to get the ball out of there because a turnover is going to be needed to get the ball back because the Vixen right now, they've got all the answers. Kuplick, actually, she's going to break right on through. On that third down play, stops him short. She gets a gain of 10. It's going to bring up a 4th and 2. Looks like another. Oh, we've reached the 2-minute warning. Well, we will take a break right here with 2 minutes left here on the WFA network.
Sometimes it hits. The worry, the what do I do now? BJC Medical Group is right there with you when and wherever you need care. Easy to schedule primary care close to home. Virtual visits when leaving the house feels impossible. And convenient care when kids don't wait. Real people, real care, no runaround. Just answers and the right care right now. BJC Medical Group, right there with you.
Back out of the 2-minute warning. Matt Bates here with you. Rockwood Summit High School, St. Louis, Missouri. We finish off tonight's final 2 minutes. And the Slam in danger of going down in week 1. The defending back-to-back national champions running into a buzzsaw of the Minnesota Vixen and also into a buzzsaw of stubbing their own toe along the way as well. But give all the credit in the world to the Minnesota Vixen, taking the most of everything being afforded them here tonight. Here's a spin move down low. That's Radford down around the 5, and it looks like enough to pick up the first down. And as we approach now under a minute 45. It's all now just a matter of time now as we have reached now the final 90 seconds. And the Slam down by 10. Aaron Kelly and company. Hand off to Kuplick. Kuplick trying to power her way in, and she will one more time. Paige Kuplick from 5 yards out. Breaks the scoreless drought that had been going on since halftime. So right now, the score is 23-7 out of the kick of Dershkova. We shall see. Breaks off the end. There was a flag down, but we'll see if they take, I think they'll just take the PAT. Looked like that was Devitt jumping in just a little early on that one, but so with the score, Minnesota 24, St. Louis 7. We'll be back final 72 seconds after this.
Sometimes it hits. The worry, the what do I do now? BJC Medical Group is right there with you when and wherever you need care. Easy to schedule primary care close to home. Virtual visits when leaving the house feels impossible. And convenient care when kids don't wait. Real people, Real care, no runaround. Just answers and the right care right now. BJC Medical Group, right there with you.
Back out of the break, Matt Bates here with you for a live stream STL's presentation of the WFA Game of the Week along the platforms of the WFA. Looks like that will be Dereshkova set to kick one more time, as it is fielded, brought up over the 35 out to the 40. Right at the 40. That is where St. Louis Slam will take over. So, tough mountain to climb right now. As it was 84 degrees at kickoff, has now reached a robust 67 to end tonight. So 17 points in 64 seconds. That's what Jamie Gall and company need to work out right now. And so we'll see how this plays out. Gall says, we're not done yet. Gets the ball out to Block. Block's going to get tackled inbounds at midfield. So we are actually, looks like a timeout was taken. Looks like just to stop the clock. Brixen split out of the tight end slot up top. Looks like with Gam there as well, too. There's Cook and Block together here nearest us. Chancellor Hurd in the backfield. Pass over the middle. That's tipped. That's deflected. That's picked off. Back comes Britt Peterson. One left. That's Jamie Gall. Gall's going to put the hit down. Peterson runs right over. Somebody came in, hit Peterson in the back, and now we've got a jailbreak over on the sideline as whoever that player was. Wow. So Gall threw the pick, and as she was the last one in the way of Peterson taking it to the house. Well, Peterson lays one on Gall at the sideline, and can't tell who it was, but somebody from the Slam comes in and just lays one on Peterson from behind, and then that's when the pot spills over on the Vixen sideline. With 45.7 left to go in the ball game, and it looks like, I would say, probably an ejection will come of this, but we'll see if we can make out. So Gall throws her first pick of the year. Kelly's throwing two. So really a lot of things that have been out of character, out of characteristic for either ball club, much less, seeing a Slam team punting 6 times in a ball game.
It'll be 1st and 10 from the 20.
So the Vixen,
Congratulations to tonight's 50-50 winner.
They will take over at the 20-yard line.
Congratulations to the St. Louis Slam as Dave J.D. donated the winnings back
As the clock will wind down in tonight's contest, I have to say, amongst all the other things that have been knocked off the checklist with the St. Louis Slam, just their consecutive winning streak alone coming to an end. I had been behind the mic every time I was behind the mic. The Slam had won. Not tonight. Final knee. Taken by Kelly, maybe not so much. But if it's a 40-second clock, it's under 35, so they really shouldn't need to snap the ball once again, but I think they will anyway, just to seal the deal. And that will do it. The final 25 seconds will roll off. And in doing so right now, your player of the game tonight, it's actually just going to be the whole Minnesota Vixen team as you see it here. This was a long time coming. This was something, that was eluding this Minnesota Vixen team. And they have now, as the time ticks off, the final score. The Minnesota Vixen 24, the St. Louis Slam 7. For Ray Hallbrook at Livestream STL, Jeff Whitener doing sideline duty, our camera crew here tonight. Matt Bates saying thank you and good night from Rockwood Summit High School here.
LFG 2026. Shout out to James.
Yes.